Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fight Against COVID-19 show. This show is very important because we talk about the unsung heroes who are working behind the scenes to help the people in front line, whether it's providing masks, making masks, providing food, and many other things that people are doing to support the fight against COVID-19. These are people who are putting all their effort, all their heart to help the people in need. Today, I have a very special guest who's helping people in need to provide food and take care of them. She's been doing this for a while, but really active in COVID 19. I want to invite Shefali Desai Kalyani. Welcome, Shefali Desai.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So it is really awesome, and I want to welcome you on the show. This show is really a way to connect people and tell people and create awareness of what we are doing. So, and many people like you are doing. So, शिफाली जी थोड़ा सा बताइए अपने बारे में और आप क्या काम करती हैं?
So, first of all, again, thank you for bringing my organization to light. I am the I'm the founder, actually, and executive director at We Care Charity. And we started this back in 2012. And we became a nonprofit 501c3 2013. And, we currently, before COVID-19, and even with COVID-19, we cook for shelters. We have 18 shelters that we cook for. We cook at 4 different soup kitchens and 3 group homes. Group homes in Indian terms is orphanage homes that we cook at. We feed close to 3,000 people each month. And that's with a lot of volunteer work and a lot of organized chaos that goes behind it. As for me personally, I came here to the U.S. when I was 12. So I've grown up in Lowell area, which is, about southern New Hampshire, about half hour from where I am right now in Salem, New Hampshire. And I've lived here my whole life. So as far as helping COVID-19, it's natural for me to wanting to go out and help those in need. And that's what my organization does, is helping those in need with or without COVID-19. So with COVID-19, we all jumped into gear and just started to help with the food, which is what my organization does.
So tell me a little bit about your family and how do they support and who all are in your family?
So sure, I have my backbone, which is my husband, without whom this wasn't possible. And I have my son and my daughter. My daughter's older, Anisha, and my son, whose name is Sahil. And they are the forefront of, Mom, you can do this for some days, when I'm tired and, I just have lack of energy. They are my lighting beam behind me that tells me, Mom, you can do it. And this is what you're made to do. And this is what you're all about. And it gets me going.
So I know you talked about your organization. So before we move to COVID-19, tell me a little bit more in detail about how do you support these poor, hungry people and how do you support these shelters?
So we started actually, going to cook initially before COVID-19. We would go and cook at the shelters. A lot of times we bring food to the shelters, depending on how many people there are. I would make the phone calls initially to get help and whoever the volunteers were, and they would actually contact me. In the beginning, I had to go find volunteers. Now I'm very fortunate. I've had a long line of volunteers, and it's all about them. And they have actually, they cook and they drop off food. They go to shelters. They cook there also, and they serve the needy. We are doing at different locations here in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. And we also have one of the things We Care Charity does is Grains for Education program in India. And in India, it's a little bit different. These kids, it's a community. It's called Vadar community in Pune. And they are day laborers. They break stones by hand, working at construction sites. And their kids used to sell things on streets. And we actually got them to go to school. It was a carrot and a stick situation. We told the parents that the kids go to school and we will give them grains. And that's how this program took off. It's been 5 years and we've had about over 300 children going to school right now. So that's one of the things We Care Charity does as well in India. But most of my work is here in New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more. It's so awesome to, first of all, hear the kind of selfless work you're doing. Tell me a little bit how you're supporting in COVID-19.
So right now, the way this whole thing started was we have, as I said to you earlier, we support many shelters. For COVID-19, we're supporting Framingham, Somerville, and I don't have this written down, so correct me if I'm wrong, but anyone you can tell me
No
later.
problem.
Somerville, Framingham, we're supporting Nashua, Lawrence, and Worcester. These are the 5 locations that we are actually making sandwich bags for. One of my shelters here in which I'm very close to in Lawrence, Massachusetts, shut down, and like a lot of the shelters shut down because you can't have more than 5 people or more than 10 people gather in one place. So when they shut down, we started making sandwich bags for them. And when we went to deliver sandwich bags, the lines were much more than what the people at the shelter used to come for. And when we asked, like, where are all these people coming from? It turned out that one of the largest shelters in Lawrence, Massachusetts, called Bread and Roses, who served 500 people a day, they shut down. And because they shut down, all these people started to come to us. And next thing you know, we didn't have enough food for all of them. And that's why the Operation Sandwich Bag started. And I actually just went like mad in the first week. I didn't know whether it was coming or going. And then I started to post and asking people for help. And today we delivered close to 400 sandwiches.
Wow. Yeah.
The shelter. And honestly, for the first time today, I didn't make any. It was all volunteers. So I bring it back to my volunteers because without them, this was impossible. So we do this and day in and day out. We make over 3,000 sandwich bags and at least 100, if not more, a day from my own house. So that's what we're doing for COVID-19.
How many volunteers do you have right now for the Sandwich Bag Project, which is actually a very nice name, by the way?
Oh, thank you. I have close to, between all the shelters right now, I have close to 30 volunteers.
So 30 volunteers, yeah. And they're all maybe working at home, yeah?
Yeah. They all either work at home or they have a full-time jobs at home that they have to do. And, like I do. And it's after 5 o'clock deal. So everyone runs to wherever they need to run to get groceries and do what they have to do. Sometimes I'm running at my lunch break because now Market Basket and a lot of grocery stores are closing early. So we have to do, it's basically do what it takes. And, let's not complain about it because it is what it is.
Yes, that is actually a good thing, that stop complaining, start working, get up and work together, and maintaining your social distance, but also helping people in need. Like you said, when the shelters are shutting down, you're going and helping anybody who needs food right now.
My son, every evening, my son takes all these bags and he transports them to where it's needed. And so that way, not everyone's, exposed to where they shouldn't be exposed. So he's a big help. He's a big instrument right now in doing this.
So you're teaching such good values to your kids by inspiring them or doing that. Tell me, when you do this, I'm sure there are always challenges when you do something like that. What are some of the challenges you have seen or overcome?
So I can tell you challenges about my organization. One of the challenges as far as COVID-19 is concerned was we had a tough time in the beginning trying to set this all up, as far as the logistics of it. That was a big challenge in the beginning, as everybody wanted to donate and everybody wanted to donate now. So we had to kind of make a rule. Okay, you know what? These 4 families donate this day. These families donate the next day. So the supply is consistent. And that was, and we keep getting the sandwiches on daily basis. So that was one of the challenges we did. But as far as the organization is concerned, when I opened the soup kitchen, for example, I have my own soup kitchen here in my own town. Finding a location was a challenge. We are a young organization. We haven't been around that long. So we did have our own bunch of challenges. We wanted to feed the people in our town. It sounded crazy because, everyone's like, oh, we don't have that many poor people in Salem. Well, when I started, that was 4 years ago. We get about 20 to 30 people coming in on daily basis in our town, and most are senior people. Second challenge was when we started a food pantry I wanted to start in my town. I didn't know where to go, and we actually found a place, and I'm a great beggar, I must say that myself. I found a person who actually, who wrote off, and I got a really good deal in the food pantry. And that's how we got started the food pantry business 3 years ago. We're open for evenings and on weekends for people to come in and take the food from, grocery. It's like a grocery store, except it's for free. And another challenge that I had was penetrating into children's homes. These are a lot of our government owned. They're under 18. They're state kids, and it's tough to get in and build the trust. And that's some of the challenges that we've had. But we've done well by all of them, and we are as an organization we've grown over the years with that.
That's very impressive. So who inspires you? Who's your mentor? Who's your inspiration to do all this?
My bua and my grandmother. My bua, my father's sister, elder sister, her name is Aruna Ben Desai. She's passed on, and so is my grandmother. Her name was Vatsala Desai. And both of them were in social work. And my parents say that it's in your blood, and the blood is speaking. But I was not aware of too many things that they were doing in India because I was raised here. But my grandmother actually has gone to red light areas in India and rescued prostitutes and brought them into her shelter. My bua actually had 7 shelters between my grandmother and my aunt. They had 7 different shelters in Gujarat. And they were rescuing women, and they were giving, they could stay there with their kids, and they were supporting them, and they taught them a lot of different ways to be independent. And those are my role models.
Okay, that's amazing. I think we have some pictures about the sandwich bag project. I don't know, if we can actually show some of the pictures for the sandwich bag project.
Sure. Yep, these are all the volunteers that dropped off the sandwiches to my home.
Yeah, and basically you can see how immense this project is with so many volunteers. And look at this. What is this?
This is a few volunteers who donated stuff for my food pantry. So we had the person pick it up from my house and, bring it back to my food pantry.
That's amazing. And I think there's a picture of your kids helping to make sandwich, I guess. Wow. These are your kids?
No, these are not my kids. These are my volunteers' kids.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, so they're helping to make. So everybody, all hands on deck.
All hands on deck, and there's no exceptions to the rule. Wash your hands, wear your gloves, and get going at 5 o'clock.
That is so amazing. Such a good feeling. How do you feel? I mean, I know this is all selfless work. How do you feel at the end of the day when you're supporting, especially fight against COVID-19?
I feel grateful. And I feel content and happy, but it's not me. Again, I bring it back to my volunteers. It's them. And you know what, to be honest with you, it's also my board of directors. They are my backbone. After my family, they're my backbone. They have taken a lot of work away from me, like a lot of my admin work right now, and they're doing it. We as a group, a lot of times, I have, because of my personality, to wanting to do 8,000 things at a time. And get digressed with different needs because I see needs everywhere and I want to do it. They kind of ground me. They bring it back. And they are the ones who, my committee, actually, they decide where the help is the most needed after we discuss everything. And as I said, they've taken a lot of my admin stuff away from me so I can focus on feeding the hungry. They're also my sounding board, and that ultimately they're the ones who make the decisions of where the right path is for the organization. So I'm grateful to them as well. But I feel on top of the world.
That's amazing. So any message for the viewers before we leave? What do you want to tell the viewers with all this great work that you're doing, especially in these uncertain times?
So as I can talk about We Care Charity again, and, of course, thanking everybody and thanking my donors and my volunteers. But one of the things that I feel personally is that we've built trust in our community to serve the needy. We have opened soup kitchens, we've worked the shelters, we've opened children's homes, and, we have credentialed ourselves. And people know that we show up every day with good times or bad. We're there for them. And that's not going to go away. And, we are very focused with what we have to do and what our challenges are. In spite of that, we're very focused and we're very dedicated to those in need. And don't give up, because we will be there to help you no matter what. We're just a phone call away.
And I think I found a thank you, but I also want to say this is a great platform to connect people, to make them aware what you are doing and what others are doing. Because united we stand, we can work together and make this happen, and people can reach out to you. So that is the reason for this show, to create awareness and highlight people like you, and maybe the people can volunteer more by reaching out to
Sure.
you.
So they can actually call me. My number is 50603 area code 560-1471. They can go on my website. I'm at www.wecarecharity.org. I'm also on Facebook under We Care Charity. I'm also on Facebook under Shefali Desai Kalyani, and they can connect with me.
That is amazing. Thank you for spreading this wonderful, message and trying to do things so selflessly and supporting people, and especially at this time when people need food and there's loss of jobs and things like that. So thank you again, Shefali ji. Great
Thank
job.
you very
Really,
much.
really appreciate that. Take
Thank
care.
you. I
Bye.
appreciate it. Bye-bye.